Our country went through a huge communal turmoil during our freedom struggle. We are all familiar with that phase when we saw divisive forces which came forward to weaken our nationalism, to weaken our fight against the British colonial empire. And these forces were not just Muslim communal forces, which ended up dividing the country in 1947, creating Pakistan. There were Hindu communal forces which were competing with the Muslim communal elements to keep the country on the boil. Now, after partition, the Muslim objective objective of the separatists was achieved, but the Hindu communal forces put pressure to create a Hindu nation after independence. Our nationalist leaders from Gandhi to Patel to Jawaharlal Nehru, Maulana Azad, and everybody else, they all decided that we are not going to be a Hindu nation like Pakistan, which became an Islamic nation. And we know what all happened there later on. We created a secular, a pluralist India, where there was space for a multi-religious society, a space for diverse cultures, diverse linguistic groups, religious groups, because we as India were a diverse nation. We have been a diverse civilization, diverse country for centuries. And respecting that, our nationalist leaders decided that we should be a secular nation. Now, we continued as a secular nation for decades, but in the recent past, we have seen that there is a sudden rise in hatred, a hatred which is directed against the minorities, a majoritarian group. I know that these groups are actually not large in number. Majority still continues to be accommodative, respecting each other's sentiments, continues to be diverse and tolerant of each other's presence. But these groups, which have become suddenly active, uh, and I'm talking about the context of Haridwar hate gathering. This hate gathering saw speeches which were a call for genocide. You cannot imagine in a democratic country, a country which has governance, which has elected governments, which has police, which has everything in place. Despite all that, people are getting away by giving a call for genocide, for elimination of a section of population. Examples are being given, examples of Rohingyas, yeah, being turned out from Myanmar. This is what we need to do. Some people actually made a call, and all this is recorded. There is evidence for all this, but despite everything which is there to see what all is being said, somebody even made a call that had I been in the parliament with a revolver, I would have actually ended up killing Manmohan Singh, because he said that minorities have a right to government resources, etc. So this is something which is absolutely scary, and I just don't understand why these people are being allowed to carry on with whatever they want to do, whatever they want to say, because we know that violence actually takes place first at the level of mind, at the level of thinking. Physical violence actually follows. No, physical violence takes place much later. First, you have to prepare. You prepare a ground. You prepare people with hatred. You prepare people with hate-filled ideology of people whom you see as other, whom you want to identify as enemies of the country. And this is what is being done. And all this is happening just an hour away from Delhi in Ghaziabad, and we know who's a regular offender. He goes on saying all sorts of things in public space. He talks to media. He speaks all sorts of things about minorities, about Christians, about Muslims, and about generally about people who believe in secularism. No, they deride secularism. They call that Constitution of India actually is not secular. No. And the word secular was brought in much later. All sorts of things are being said. And I have no issues why these things are being said, because such elements existed in India even decades ago. But they were kept at bay. They were kept in control. Today, nothing is happening. They are being allowed to say whatever they want to say with impunity, and the state is looking the other way. So that is something scary. That is something which shouldn't happen. These people should be told what they have to speak and what they are not supposed to speak. What is in the interest of the country, what is in the interest of India as a nation. Because if you identify, I just don't understand, because there are people who are speaking in these meets, in hate meets, saying that we have to rise against people who are creating jihad, who are actually indulging in jihad. I don't understand. Where are the people in India who actually are waging jihad? Jihad is being waged somewhere else, and the politics behind that jihad is a very different politics. India or Indian Muslims are not part of it. So why should people be scared in India and create a phobia against a section of population in the name of the so-called jihad they want to identify people with? So this is something very strange. And I don't see anything else. It is only hatred of these people which has led them to create this phobia, a fear amongst the majority that you are not safe because there are jihadis amongst you whom you need to control, whom you need to eliminate, whom you need to dispense with. Arm yourself so that you can deal with them. So this is something which is scary, and I think the government should take note of it, and I hope some action will be taken against them, because this is something which is not really new. These forces have been with us, communal forces, both Hindu and Muslim. Muslim communal forces divided our country, so that was resolved. The people who stayed back, majority Hindus and minority Muslims, they decided to actually accept India as their homeland, and so they need not be identified as enemies of the country. That is something very strange and condemnable, which is happening today in our midst, and we all need to take note of it. Thank you.